2, 1, go.
Are you ready for some football? Man, Brian, we got a lot to talk about today.
We do, man. Can't wait for it. Unfortunately, there's another thing we have to talk about. Well, I wasn't looking forward to talking about this, but it is what it is, man. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with the big three today. We might go through it a little quickly, the big three games of the week. And then we're going to move into the topic of the week. I think everyone knows by now what the topic of the week is likely going to be. It's what everyone's talking about across the sports world and, and outside the sports world. So, Ray Rice and the Goodell situation with it. We'll get into that and what our thoughts are on it. And then afterwards, we'll get into the Fantasy Insider. Because, Eve's got some real nice picks, some high-profile players for this week. So, fantasy for big three of the week. Actually, I didn't talk to you about this, but we'll quickly just get your thoughts for last week's three that we picked. What do you think, Seahawks, Denver? What do you think about that? Was there anything surprising?
Well, nothing surprising. Well, okay, nothing surprising in terms of the score. Mm-hmm. I gotta say the Hawks looked amazing.
They did.
Yeah, they did. But then the minute that Bulaga got hurt, the left tackle, man, it was like, oh man, they just came after Rodgers like anything. But you know what though? Ross Tucker said something that was very good. As much as we like Rodgers, a lot of people like Rodgers, he's not very good on situational football.
Nah, no.
There was a couple of plays that he did. There was a third and 2. Mm-hmm. The guy threw the ball. The guy had a chance just to run for the first down.
Yep, I remember that play.
And then he just threw the ball out of bounds, and then he started getting on his lineman.
Right.
And then the other one was a fourth. I think it was a fourth and 3 or 4th and 4. The dude just took a sack.
Mm-hmm.
And really bad plays. So I know that he was probably getting flustered and stuff, but to also think that nobody threw at Richard Sherman.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Come on, man. Like, I'm sorry, Richard Sherman is not Deion Sanders.
No, it was pretty.
He only plays on one side of the field.
Yeah, it was pretty sad to watch. I mean, I understand if you got someone like in this case like a rookie quarterback. Or you got a second year dude like an EJ Manuel where you don't have confidence in to make that play to throw Sherman's side, but
Come on, if you're one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man.
Yeah, if you're saying that someone's arguably the best quarterback in the league, and you're not throwing it at that dude, like come on, that was a little. I would say that was embarrassing.
Yeah, to be very honest with you, to also not to interrupt, to also just be honest with you, I don't even think Richard Sherman's the best corner in the league.
Fair enough. Broncos, that kind of played out the way we thought, except for the fact that Denver.
Yeah, listen, even when the score was big in the third quarter, you just had this really big feeling.
Well, okay, let me guess. See if you remember the point here. Fourth quarter now, the game's a 7-point game. And all of a sudden, you saw our man Peyton Manning start squeezing that ball guy. Two horrible passes. Well, it overthrew the dude on a third down, and the second down pass, which he threw, was wide as the receiver as well too. It's like, wow, this dude does not like pressure.
Yeah, man. But you know what? And I gotta be honest with you, man. I know that you're not saying that you don't like Luck, but Luck played well.
No, I know. Luck
played well.
No, and, I like Luck.
That was really bad play calling. I think there was a lot of bad play calling that occurred in that game. And also, the Colts had no running game going on. I mean, can we cut the Trent Richardson nonsense? He's not the start. He's not the start.
No, he's not the start. He didn't look that bad though. I didn't think.
Oh, Brian.
Well, I didn't see all of the games, so I don't know how the first half.
Right. He was ineffective. Ahmad Bradshaw. If he wasn't hurt so much, Ahmad Bradshaw should be the starter.
But on paper, they have a nice 1-2 punch with the two of them, though. I mean, it's a decent punch, man. Maybe it's my Steelers coming out there with the Bradshaw thing, but. All I know is when I saw first thing, let me put in the Luck thing. I like Luck, so my thing is I'm just more critical of Luck than maybe some of the folks on TV are that they think Luck can do no wrong and they already have him enshrined in Canton after 2 seasons or whatever, or 3 seasons. Just let's slow it down here. But I think Luck is a fantastic young quarterback. I think he's got a lot of skills that I like in this case of what you like to see in a quarterback. He's poised in the pocket. He picks his spots where he wants to run. He's got all the skills. He's athletic. You can throw the ball deep. You throw it short. There's no two ways. Luck, talent-wise, is on par with anyone. But it's just my own thing with Luck is just more to do with the media with Luck. Like, let's
Okay.
slow it down a little bit, folks. That's
Yeah,
all, man.
pump the brakes a little bit. Let
Yeah,
him do his
exactly.
thing.
There's a bit of a love fest with Luck a little bit much, and I think that's my whole thing. It's less to do with Luck, more than media. Now, the third game we had last week was who did we have last week? Oh yeah, Dallas and San Francisco.
Well, how'd that play out?
Funny enough, we had that one pretty much play out the same way too. Actually, we thought this game was going to get ugly early.
Well, let's put it this way: we thought there'll be a lot of points in the game, but we didn't really think that the points will come all within the first 3-4 minutes of the game.
And we didn't think it would be in reverse, that Dallas would actually give up the points themselves instead of San Francisco have to work to put the points up.
And the funny thing is, it wasn't like the defense played bad.
No, that's my point.
That's the thing.
Like,
That's the thing. It wasn't the defense.
No.
So we can only blame it on only Tony Rono. Tony Rono. That's who you blame it on that game. The other thing, too, that kind of caught me off, like, I don't know. I think I texted you about this. Did it just seem like San Francisco? Were we at Candlestick Park?
Yeah, it was all over Twitter. The photos, I retweeted one myself. Like, it's like at least 50% red jerseys were in the crowd.
So this should tell you how bad the state of the Cowboys are right now. That at their own home field, the team is that bad that Jerry Jones will take anybody's money.
Right. Well,
to have their fans.
People are selling their tickets.
Sell out their stadium.
Yeah, people are selling their tickets, man. But let's move into this week's games now. So let's see here. We can start with we have Ravens Steelers as our first game that we're gonna pick. So it's the Thursday night game. This is being recorded Wednesday night. So it's 24 hours from now. Who you like in this game? Ravens Steelers in this one. Lots of stuff circling around Baltimore, obviously. So.
Oh yeah. Aside from everything else, but I'm choosing the Steelers on this game.
Yeah.
Reason being because I just think that first of all, even though the Ravens should be able to run the football, they just are not. I don't know what's going on with the running game. I mean, I know that they ran with Forsett, and Forsett's a journeyman. I mean, he's been a journeyman for a long time.
It's very similar. Sorry, like they have explosive players on on both sides of the ball. But I don't know about you, but every time I watch Baltimore and a lot of times with Pittsburgh, the offense looks disjointed. Certain offenses just have a smoothness about them.
Correct.
But Pittsburgh and Baltimore always looks like they're being stops and starts. And you don't know what you're going to get from them in this case when it comes to what's clicking. And I think that's the reason why they have such close games, because they kind of do mirror each other. Like, I mean, defense.
Oh, yeah, because they play the same physical style. But, like, I still remember, like, how many years ago when Ray Lewis busted out Mendenhall.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the bloodbath game?
Oh, yeah.
I remember the bloodbath game. That was, and I mean, so I would love to see something like that again, because that was just like bring your bats.
Last year. With
Bell.
Last
year was just violent.
His bell rung.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Tomlin's always going to get in. Tomlin and Harbaugh are always going to get into something because there's some animosity there that is beyond. Like, people may not see it, but you see them feel.
Yeah, there's no two ways. I mean, I like the Steelers in a close one because they're always close games. It wouldn't surprise me if Baltimore won. Baltimore is one of those type of teams and franchises that, in these circumstances, they rally in this case. So I wouldn't be surprised they play one of the best games they play all season.
Really? I don't know.
I really think so.
Like I always say, Troy Polamalu always seems to be he's a big difference maker on them type of games, especially in Baltimore. So, and I'm always thinking Flacco's going to do something because he's going to try to throw the ball a lot that he shouldn't.
It's true, but I mean, I'm not no Flacco fan, but he has a kind of a instinct of playing games where you least expect it to play some big time ball. So
they didn't play terrible last week. So
that's what I'm saying. I think this game's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be more scoring than people think too. I think just because of the rules and everything, I think this is gonna be in the high 20s, man. Just like how you saw the Cleveland game last week.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
So both of us like the Steelers on that one. Game number 2, Eagles Colts. This one here is in Indianapolis. In the dome. So exactly. So I mean, I'll be shocked if this game is under 60 points. I mean, I think this is gonna be a track meet. It's gonna be a fun game to watch. But I think I was listening to this today on ESPN, which is a good point someone made. I can't remember who it was, but Indy's got to be careful. They do get off to some notoriously bad starts, and I don't know. I only get concerned with that because to me that means it talks about preparation you're coaching. Because, I mean, when you're getting off the bad starts time and time again, even in playoff games, you're getting off the bad starts. Because both games last year, they got off the bad starts. In Philadelphia, one of those type of teams, they'll embarrass you if you get off to a bad start. Because they're a front-running team. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think Indy will play better. Obviously, be at home, their first game at home. I think they'll come out a lot stronger. I could see them losing this game though. Like,
You can see who?
I can see Indianapolis losing this game.
Okay.
I can see.
Well, I agree with you on that because that's why.
Man. I like Philly, man.
Okay, I like Philly. The reason why I like Philly, couple things. The horrible start that you make mention of with Indianapolis, which seems to be big. Secondly, as much as luck covers up all their sins in certain things, the offensive line is atrocious. That's a problem. They can't block for him, so he does get a hit a lot, and that's why he scrambles a lot. Because he's the one that helps. He's the one that helps to make their running game go.
Exactly.
That's easy. And as well, Philadelphia's defense, even though they didn't play that great against the Jags, but however they played great in the second half, come after the passer now.
Yep.
And they're some big boys over here.
Exactly.
So, and the offense, as you just said, Chip Kelly and what he's doing with Folds and with those linemen again, and also don't forget, Robert Mathis is no longer with the team this year. Achilles injury, that's a big thing because he was their best pass rusher and they can't get a pass rush.
No. Yeah, I mean, I think I can see this game going not as bad as Denver, but I can definitely see Philadelphia getting out to a lead of 10 points or 14 points, and then Indy tracking them down a bit, but Philly end up winning. I
don't even think it'll get that close if that occurs.
You don't think so? I just think the home game, the first one, I find it hard that Indy's going to get blown out at home.
No, and I'm not saying they're going to get blown out at home, but I'm going to say this, though, that Philadelphia is no joke, though.
No, I agree with that.
Like, defensive wise, nobody seems to has seemed to control them. It's when they make their own mistakes, that's when they don't look good.
Yeah.
But they did last week. I still chose the Jags anyway. Yeah. But
after all that, you still chose the Jags. How'd that work out for you?
Up by 17, and I'm all thinking, oh my God, they might.
And the Jags remember they're the Jags in the fourth quarter. I had a tweet.
But it was very impressive the way they came back. But again, Chip Kelly's a great innovator of offense.
Yep.
He'll make it happen.
Control climate and dome. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's the thing. His game probably works more inside a dome better.
Oh, yeah. So game number 3. I mean, right now, we've taken 2 dogs already in this already. So number 3, the Bears head out west to I was almost say Candlestick Park. Where they got that new stadium.
Levi something.
Yeah.
It's a bad field. Apparently, it's a very bad field.
Yeah, they got a lot of issues with that field, man. Yeah. It's almost like the Candlestick Park days back in the 80s, man.
Well, I'd rather play there then if that's the case.
Right. When they used to share the stadium with the Giants. Bears, Niners. I like San Francisco, man. As I said before, I don't trust Chicago. I felt justified after and vindicated watching Buffalo beat this first week. I mean, Bears are one of these sexy picks everyone talked about at the beginning of the season. Like, yeah. And I think you go 0-2, man. I think San Francisco takes care of business.
Oh, likewise, I just think as well. The game against the Bills, very, very disappointing game. I just thought overall, what surprised me most was how bad the Bears looked defensively. Especially Fred Jackson that fourth quarter, or was it the overtime or the fourth quarter, where he stiff-armed the dude that just made Adrian Peterson prop. Oh my God! I thought that guy. I thought he took him to jail. It was bad, man.
That was brutal. So right now, we like 49ers at home and Steelers and Philadelphia on the road. So that's our big 3 for this week, folks. Last week we did pretty well. I think we were 2-1 last week. Correct. Our picks, and we almost had the comeback there with the Indy game. So topic of the week. I mean, obviously it's about Ray Rice and this whole second video that came out. Funny enough, when we talked earlier in the week, just to give some perspective, we were going to. I don't think we really had topic yet. And then afterwards by Monday we were going to talk about the video in TMC. Right. And then yesterday we were going to talk about the Goodell interview that was coming. Right. Now here we are about a few hours before we're about to tape this. Boom, a bombshell gets dropped by AP about that the NFL had the tape all this time. As I told you over the phone, man, it's like by the time this gets posted for tomorrow, who knows what the situation would be and Goodell's situation with the league. So
might be a resignation letter by the end of the night.
Yeah, man. So what do you think where we're at right now? What do you think where we're at? What you think might happen? You know, what do you think? What's your perspective on everything right now?
Okay, well, we can't forget, like, okay, before we go into the NFL situation, we got to realize that domestic violence, it should not be tolerated, period, point blank.
Exactly.
All right? Let's get something straight here. I think that part of the problem that we're having in this society, there's a violent culture that is being established, that is within pro sports, within society, that is an issue.
Right.
Dudes, if your girl, if somebody's you should not get yourself in that situation. Unfortunately, there's some crazy dynamics that happen in relationships. However, don't be striking each other like that.
Well,
I don't care if it's man. I don't care if it's if man on woman, woman on man. Don't be laying hands on each other.
That's what I was gonna say. My piece. I mean, as my wife always says, man, everyone keep their hands to themselves, please.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It just simplifies everything. And to your point, the culture of what's going on when it comes to, violence against women. I think I told you off the record. I mean, when I posted the Ray Rice thing on Beyond the Locker Room a month ago, I got a couple comments coming back that I did not post because I said, you know what, that's not going on my timeline, or that's not going on my comment section of some stuff about she deserved it, stuff. I was like, you people need some help. So and I think and unfortunately, I mean, sports, it's in sports, but it's definitely something that's more rooted, and I find in the NFL more so than the other leagues. I think this goes down to a point, and I'm moving into the discussion to the NFL. I think the NFL is too cynical about just making money, and they don't stand for anything. Like,
no morality. They've compromised morality for common sense.
Like, for example, you take baseball. We know baseball in this case has made a stand against drugs. That's their thing. That's their moral stand when it comes to that. The NBA, when it comes to a lot of things, when it comes to discrimination against be it black folks, gay people, whatever, they've made that stand.
Yeah, it might not be perfect, but they
right, exactly. Like those sports, you can say that hockey has their own thing too. You can say those sports have a soul, whatever you want to say. NFL has no soul.
No, none.
It never has. I mean,
look, it's a gladiator sport. I don't know if it's almost like the football in North America has become almost like the kind of an army kind of mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people understand, like, when people are shocked with certain things that go on, when you shouldn't be shocked. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be surprised. Mm-hmm. I actually think that the NFL is a reflection of today's society. Because you're dealing with 53 or 90 people with different types of characteristics, different backgrounds, coming from all types of walks of life.
Right.
And there's certain things that certain topics that are discussed in the locker room, there's certain ways of how they're discussed, people will get shocked about. But it's the same thing when the whole thing with Mike Vick that occurred. Right. People were shocked. When you found out the thing with Jonathan Martin, which I personally don't think was which was bullying, because I just think that there was a certain thing that's my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I kind of disagree with that one a little bit, but your opinion, I see where you're coming from. I mean, because not much came out of it.
Nothing came out of it. It was the guy wasn't the guy. The guy couldn't tolerate probably some of the stuff going on over there.
But I think there's some stuff that you could say it might be over the line what those guys did. I mean,
up to a point.
When you're threatening people's families and stuff like that, and saying some misogynistic things to that extent. I'm not even talking about you're just kind of riding a guy about mama jokes or something. I ain't talking about stuff like that. Like, that type of stuff you heard in the voicemails, but that's another story. Anyhow.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. But the NFL has a problem. Yeah. The NFL has a real problem. Ray Rice. I'm sorry. I'll just say this straight plain. If the NFL had done the right thing at the right time, basically give the guy 6 games with an indefinite suspension, this wouldn't be one.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm not saying I'm feeling sorry for Ray Rice in any sense, but if you look how everything, this is why I say what I put today in my post for the Beyond the Locker Room episode, is that the NFL screwed this thing up, because when it's all said and done, that really no one was talking about this when the first video came out. I was mentioning it then. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks before in a podcast, saying like, when this thing hits the fan, I think the video just came out that day. Oh no, when the suspension just come in 2 games, I'm like, what the heck? Like,
I think that's everybody's reaction. I think every single individual, even those that probably might not, who might have their own opinions, probably said 2 games. That's it.
Right. And for folks to say that, You know,
Let this play itself out.
Right, you had to wait for the video to come out, the second video.
Come on,
like,
man.
What the heck do you think
come on,
they're doing?
Come on, use your eyes, man.
You know, what do you think they're doing, man? What, doing ballet or something inside there, and she fell down? Like, come on.
Like, come on, man.
Like, really? You needed that? Like, what the, like...
But but you know what, though, Brian? I think that's part of the problem that we have in this society now, is that people say, well, we don't really know what really went on over there.
Well, yeah. Well, you have those knuckleheads that come on the radio saying like, it's like the I guess I kind of call it like, the unbelievable example in this case of, well, what happened if Martians came down on Earth and then went in the elevator? Like, dude, like, come on, use your common sense, right? You see this stuff happen all the time, all sorts of different circumstances. Like, really, really?
Yeah. But you know what?
The Sterling people talk about like that stuff too.
But can I also, this is why fans are idiotic at times, and I always say this, like, fans are dumb. Some people are really stupid. And the thing that I now come with, and I've taken the Colin Cowherd approach. Like, you got some guys who are just really, they have women issues. They just don't like women, either because they probably had some things going on with their moms or sisters, or maybe they broke, just as you said, they broke up with somebody at 15 years old, and they hold women in such resentment that they can't get over it. I think I told you this last night. A lot of guys are into pornography. That's also another issue in itself too. And so you have this violent culture thing going on right now, where people trying to justify knocking out a girl. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's okay.
I think the thing is that it's just like, it's just common sense, man. Like, common sense just seems to be lost now. Like, dude, like, there's nothing to really debate. What's the debate? Like, it is what it is. The dude knocked the girl out, knocked the woman out, cold cocked her. I mean, and dragging her out like it's in a mobster film or something. And I think what the part that is the most revolting part of the first tape was when he's kicking her foot out the door in the elevator. Like,
really, man.
Like, really. You know what I mean?
She was just drunk and she hit her head against something, and that's the way you treat her.
It wasn't like, oh my gosh, what the heck did I just do type of thing. It was like, oh, okay, I'll just drag her out here and toss her out. Like, what the heck? What type of mindset's that?
And all her parts are exposed and everything of the sort. You're not trying to come on, man. So you're gonna try to tell me, oh, we didn't know what really happened. How do you know? Come on.
Well, let's get to where things stand right now, Goodell.
Okay.
And right now, things are right now. I mean, this dude is right now on. I said thin ice yesterday, and it's past thin ice now. You call hot seat thin ice. Coals, feet on the fire.
$40 million, brother.
Yeah, going down the drain.
He ain't gonna let that job go so easy, but I don't think he gotta have a choice.
No, he's talking about how he's not retiring. Like
he's Napoleon. He's talking like choice. Napoleon going down. Yeah, man. I don't think he's gonna have that choice.
Well, yeah, you're right. I
think they need 19 or 32 owners to basically say get your butt out. Right. And remember, let's be real. Is he really effective as a commissioner?
Well, as I said, I listened today. We were talking about this, and the take that from Tim and Sid had an interesting take about this. The guys were talking, and I can't remember who it was. I'm trying to remember. Can't remember.
I know you mentioned him to me. Yeah, I mentioned him to me. But
yeah, the dude that comes on their show with man, he slipped my mind, but he made a good point. Is like, what exactly has he done well in this case here? Yeah. He made a lot of money for the owners, but as I told you over the phone, a chimpanzee or a turtle could go inside the commissioner's office and make money for the NFL. Any of us can do that. That ain't that hard to do. Geez, let me pick which network here I can go and pull more money out of. Like, really? Like, that's hard to do. Like, come on now. I know I got guaranteed 25 million eyeballs watching me every week. Like, really? That's hard for me to do. So, I mean, this thing...
Who's saying only 25 mil?
Yeah, like, he's making...
You're being very low.
Right. I'm lowballing it. Right. So
yeah, you're lowballing it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking, like, your typical game. It's a Cleveland-Buffalo game or something. I mean, well, I'm sitting there going, like, are you kidding me? When I see what's going on here with him, with the Bounty Gate, and believe me, I just heard this evening on ESPN, boy. Those folks in New Orleans there's an article coming out tomorrow. Pretty much a lady, it's a New Orleans sports reporter. She's about to serve him up on a platter, guy. Because he was throwing around his chest real big about you should know what's going on in your organization, and ignorance is an excuse. Well,
I'm going to bring a real good point here that I'm a Dan Patrick guy, but Dan Patrick said something that was really good in speaking about New Orleans. Now, Sean Payton got suspended a whole year,
right,
for something that was under his watch,
right.
Now, would the NFL do the same to this guy? Because he said the head coach should know what's going on in his organization, right?
Yep.
Nope. So, with this situation now arisen, and he said he didn't see the tape. He said nobody saw the tape.
Right.
Yet there's reports coming up saying they got the tape.
Right.
They saw the tape.
Yeah, but
he might not have seen the tape.
I saw his interview saying no one granted us permission. I'm like, give me a break, guy. You're the NFL.
Give me a break with that nonsense. This is the same league that was able to get text messages between players.
Right. For the Dolphins.
Of the Dolphins situation. This is the same league that came up and got a whole bunch of stuff in regards to that bounty gate.
Right.
This is the same league that got stuff about that whole Belichick situation.
Right.
Spygate. This is the same league that got all that stuff about the Dante Stallworth situation when he got him.
Right.
The same league that got the stuff about Michael Vick.
Right.
Don't tell me no nonsense saying that they didn't have no access. They weren't able. They didn't want to compromise the investigation. They couldn't get the tape. Give me a break.
Right.
Please.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who he thinks he's fooling. He might just be talking to himself at this point here, because I don't think anyone believes in him at this point. I mean, the owners might hold on to him. That might be the case, but he has no credibility with the players, which he barely had already. I mean, Harrison and some of the guys on Twitter are killing him right now.
I can only imagine. Listen, let me tell you something. That guy is not a well-liked dude in the NFL by the players.
No.
That's been the case for a long time. Since he came in there. Remember, he came in there bat swinging.
Oh, yeah.
Spending guys left, right, and center, taking dudes' money away for all kinds of nonsense. And then, remember, your team, my gosh, you mentioned his name around your team.
Yeah. Well, Harrison tonight had a funny tweet talking about it. It's funny when the Rabbits got the gun.
Oh, jeez. But isn't it funny, though? Because remember, since you brought him up, he still has the most classic line on Roger Goodell. If I saw Roger Goodell on fire, I wouldn't even piss on him.
Well, he said something else tonight, too. He said that's the reason why, in this case, the Steelers didn't ratify the vote for the CBA.
That's right. Exactly. There was a defiant vote.
Because it was about the power situation with him. Too much
Well,
power.
that's always been part of the problem. Because, first of all, you cannot have this guy being the judge, jury, executioner, and then you're the arbitrator after you try to appeal your suspension.
That's the reason why I smell a lawsuit coming down on this sucker. Because it's double jeopardy, firstly. If you gave the guy 2 games, and then all of a sudden a week or 2 later now, you're giving him indefinitely suspending him, which essentially is the year. You know, you can't expect now all of a sudden to do the same way. I owe, $27 million?
Correct.
And probably may not play, may or may not play again, but at this point, I'm saying, dude, give me my money. Because you know what?
He's going to get double that. He's going to get double that in a lawsuit.
That's just the facts. And people may not like to hear that, but that's just the facts. Personally,
it's true. No, it's the truth. Because here's the thing. Because you came up and you said the guy 2 games, and you didn't say it was an indefinite suspension at the time. That was the key thing. You didn't say that when you did it.
No.
You did not say that. If you had said, we reserve the right, if there's something else that comes up to protect your tail. And the thing that gets me about Goodell, that's surprising me, is that he's supposed to be a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
The NFL, and I would presume that this man has a whole bunch of legal guys around him, right? They really messed him up on this. I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, that's the reason why
it's really messy, because to the point that this shouldn't come to this.
It
shouldn't come to this at all.
So let's wrap it up with this. I mean, do you think a week from now when we're doing this show he has his job?
You hear me?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, a week from now, do you think he has his job?
Yeah, he still has his job.
Yeah,
he'll still have his job.
His job, okay.
He still has his job, unless a whole bunch of things come up. If a whole bunch of things come up that's really, really bad, he'll still be there next week.
Okay, a month from now.
Let's put it this way now. You got the whole National Organization of Women.
Right.
You have issues possibly with sponsors.
Yeah.
Because remember, things don't happen until the sponsors start pulling out.
Until the money starts leaking out, then it's like, and when the players start disrespecting you and stuff like that, then you got some things, that combination, as we saw with Sterling, players, labor disrespecting you and having no respect for you as an authoritarian figure, and then sponsors leaving. That combination is, then you throw in public opinion. that confluence of factors is pretty much a cocktail for disaster. If you're in a leadership standpoint,
and it might happen pretty fast. And you know what? It might happen pretty quickly. But I don't think he's going to be gone next week.
No.
But I'm saying let it play out for about a month. And also, Rice still hasn't commented about some of these little comments.
It's funny
that the league is all of a sudden started to throw out there, saying that he was ambiguous. He had a lot of ambiguity in terms of his response. Ambiguous. The man, he was ambiguous in his comments. What the heck? If you're saying that this man tells you to your face, he's not giving you the answers that he's not giving you answers to questions you're asking him specifically. Wouldn't that make you be in quick pause to come and say, I think we need to look into this matter a little bit more and find out what's the...
And the Ravens are doing him no favors, because Ozzie Newsome pretty much said, like, oh yeah, what he told us is what happened in the video. So there's contradiction already. Ravens saying, yeah, he told us the truth. NFL's trying to create some type of gray area, like he didn't tell us exactly everything. Trying to look for it out. So it's not a good look between that, the AP story about the tape that was there, throw in, as you said before, the public, the public outcry in this case, and the push for organizations like now, you get into some really dangerous territory, from a PR standpoint.
Yeah, but I think that hey, again, as I think we talked about, the NFL has been making money hand over fist for such a long time that the moral compass has left the NFL.
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. But I think that's the part that's really saddening me, because I'm a big NFL guy. Don't dispute that at all. I love football, but it's the clowns that are in charge that are making the game really as bad as it is right now, because now we're getting owners involved in things that you've been hearing about. You and I talked about. Right. Jerry Jones just now fighting a lawsuit over alleged sexual assault. You have an owner who's dealing with some drug stuff, some drug stuff. Then you got some really nasty owners that are just really despicable people. I think
one Tennessee dealing with some type of defrauding fans or something like that. There's a lot of greasiness going on across the board.
And I mean, it's not just only within the NFL. Let's be real. We know about what's going on in the NBA as well.
But I hear you. But let's face it. In the NBA, that is no doubt that's bad. But in this case, these ones that we're talking about in the NFL, we're talking about criminal acts potentially.
That's a different. There's a whole different level going on there. Yeah, man, and it's not just with the players.
No. I mean, we had executives in Denver just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, man, you have executives involved in this, and then you're gonna come down heavy on. You're gonna come so heavy-handed on players, but yet people in front offices or owners, they're not treated the same way. I'm saying, wait a second, don't you represent the so-called shield?
Right. And I think the last point I would make about this is that the problem with this story, as I said before, it's still got so many more legs. Because not only you mentioned what Ray Rice might end up saying with his lawyer, but you still have ongoing situations with Hardy and with McDonald.
That stuff is just as bad. So, and I'm sorry,
the Hardy one's even worse. So
man.
So
today apparently,
go ahead.
Yeah, and apparently today he didn't. And apparently today he didn't show up at practice. You know why he didn't show up to practice today?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got that situation in San Francisco.
Yep.
Again, you don't want to come and suspend the guy before his due process, but. I mean, nothing's come out to say what exactly happened, but the coach, Jim Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh basically said, listen, I don't want no guys that beat women on my team. Right. Well, I played on Sunday.
Well, I guess he's saying let due process happen to find what happened. So we'll see. We'll see. But but it keeps the story going. All these things keep the story going. This is going to be going throughout the whole year as far as I'm concerned. The whole season. Man. Unfortunately,
but that Hardy situation, man. I'm sorry. Just the fact that he copped a plea with them.
Yeah,
that tells me.
Yeah, he's guilty of something. So let's wrap this up. I'm gonna make it real quick on the Fantasy Insider part because we're running over time here today. But Fantasy Insider, you give us some picks for this week. You got some big boys out here for this week, man. Get back.
Yeah, I got some big boys. Yeah. This week I'll be quick. For my number one, I think everybody knows Fantasy King guy. It'll be Peyton Manning, 350 yards. My prediction is 350 yards. That's nothing, but I think he'll get himself at least 4 touchdowns against Kansas City.
You don't respect that Chiefs D, huh? Huh? You don't respect that Chiefs D?
No, because first of all they lost their best linebacker, and they lost one of their best linemen, and those are the two of their top players on the defensive side, and also as well. Yeah, man. Then, number 2, I have the basically the New York Jets running attack against the pathetic Green Bay defense against the run. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be ugly. I think it's gonna be a close game. I'm not saying who's going to win the game, but I predict that Chris Johnson and Chris Ivory are going to run. Almost close to 200 yards rushing between the two of them, and I probably got about 2 TDs because Green Bay can't stop anyone in the run. My third pick is going to be the old reliable Larry Fitzgerald. Reason being, he barely touched the ball on Sunday night.
And Daddy made a point of saying it too.
Yeah, because and when Daddy comes up and starts getting involved, his dad seems to have a lot of stroke within the league too, because he's one of the well-known journalists. Maybe he's probably obviously speaking for his son, and his son came and said, "Oh, they're not until what my dad said."
Whatever. Journalistic integrity a little bit, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, that story, you're in the paper in this case here. You can give that story to somebody else and let them write that story.
Yeah,
because everyone knew that was going to be a story coming out of it.
Yeah,
you didn't have to write that story. But that's a whole other story. but
I think that Fitzgerald's gonna get about 7 catches and probably 2 TDs, and this is against my Giants.
That vaunted Giants defense. Sorry, I had to do it to you, man. All the mighty have fallen, guys.
If I had a speech bubble right there, you know exactly what I'd be saying.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah. So, but the thing is, I think that they'll make it a point to get him the ball, get him going. Not saying that he's Megatron, because what Megatron did to the Giants on Monday. Oh,
he's pretty close. So that can get scary again.
But Fitzgerald will get his touches. I think he'll get a couple of short pass TDs.
All right. So there you have it, folks. So this week, Peyton Manning, you have the Jets running attack with Johnson and Ivory, and of course, Mr. Fitzgerald out of Arizona. So that's what Eve's giving to you this week. He gave you some nice picks last week. Folks, once again, thank you for supporting us. Subscribe up top. Once again, put your comments down below. Tweet us, comment, respond to us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We love to hear your thoughts. You guys are doing a great job so far. Just keep it coming. We love to hear your comments on the Ray Rice situation, all the other stuff going on in the league. And hey, your own picks for this week. We still have football on the field right now, so that's a good thing. So
if you have any questions, hit us up with any questions, and we might have a chance to read them on air and try to respond. Even if you disagree with us, we love to hear from you still.
Yep, and you can find Eve on Twitter at YSharlem. And you can find me, of course, at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM for room. So anyways, folks, thank you very much. We'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.